Tonight's episode of the Sunday Night Talk is here. It is week 3 in the NFL. Omar Carmona joins me as we break down all that was our Sundays. And did we have a Sunday? Yes, we did. Before I get to the episode, I want to remind everyone new to the channel to give it a subscribe. If you like what you're seeing, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I have a new interview on my Running It Back series with Eric Estevan. He's a comedian, he's an actor, he's a show producer. Sits down, we have a long-form talk about his journey in the entertainment world. Really good, really fun, great guest as well. Tonight on the Sunday Night Talk, we talk big picture, we talk Sunday night, we talk all the games that happened this very day. Our hopes, our dreams, our disappointments. Yeah, there were some disappointments. What are you going to do? We talk radio. We play a new game when it comes to Guess the Stat. And of course, finally, we wrap it up with the awards of the week. There were a lot of them. Tricky week this week 3 in the NFL. I'm not sure I know what to think 100%. Well, that's what the Sunday Night Talk is for. I think you're going to like it. So here is week 3 in the NFL, the Sunday Night Talk with myself and Omar Carmona. Here we go. It is 8:36 recording this West Coast time. Omar Carmona joins me. It is the Sunday Night Talk, a truly somber Sunday night. It is raw emotion. So Omar, let me open the floor to you. We just finished up Sunday night. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
We
Hello.
both took a full-on body blow today. We just finished your game. That I think was about as tough as it gets. I can't remember a game where both teams almost got a first down this entire game. It was really unusual. I'm texting you the whole game, and I think you're implementing my strategy where you're not texting back on purpose.
Oh, yeah, it's on purpose.
And I'm writing you. This is a strange game. Does Russell Wilson know what these plays are? Is this the coach's fault? So much stuff going on there.
So much stuff to unpack. But
yeah, well, Let's start here. I mean, it is week 3 in the NFL, and I always think week 3 is the perfect first measuring stick in the league.
I agree with that.
Because we got 3-0s, we got 0-3s. You know, you could say week 5, but we never get 5-0s. We rarely get 0-5s. So right. I think this is a good measuring stick of what we're in store for.
It's like how well did you start out of the gate? You know what I mean? Like all the preparation and then, early season adjustments. How'd it go? And we are seeing some surprising teams sink real fast, and we are seeing some teams that I question what expectations we had of them, but they're exceeding it and performing real well. So a good mix of talent here. I think we're going to have a season where it's like a brand new playoff picture.
There were some real surprises today where like it was like, hold on a second. Do we need to start paying attention to this team? Like the Jaguars were that for me. I was like, this Lawrence guy, he looks like Mahomes. He looks just as good as Allen out there, slinging like on the dime passes, moving in the pocket. That was surprising. And then I'm watching your game, I'm watching the Sunday night game, and I'm thinking like, is there a better situation for Jimmy G than what he's in? Like I'm thinking if he wins this game, which they had many chances to do, he goes home to San Francisco next week, they are going to give him the key to the city. if he comes
possible.
up, I mean, none of this happened, of course, because they lost, and he went full Jimmy G on us.
He went Jimmy G. Are we shocked? It's just total game managing, and the thing is when you rely on a game manager and that game manager has a terrible game, then I mean you're going nowhere. And that's what happened.
He was managing it, and then this is the wonder that is Jimmy G, beyond his good looks. Like I feel like he's already like at a 7 when it comes to because he's good looking, and then he's doing the game manager stuff like you're saying, and then all of a sudden he puts one on a rope that should be picked, and then he throws it in there, it gets caught, and then he fools you, and you're like, oh wait, he's good, Jimmy G's good, and then he gets sacked for a 12-yard loss.
Yeah.
So it was shades of that last Super Bowl drive against Kansas City. It really was. We're like, oh, it's set up for him. And then he fails. Although this one, he got sacked, but that fumble play was a good play by him. He got the ball off. The guy was going
Yeah.
to gain like 20 yards, and then he fumbled it. So let's start from the beginning. Sunday night, and I'm thinking, okay, this has been a long night. This has been a long day for me in the NFL. I have struggled. Started last week, and I'm watching the Sunday night game, and I'm thinking, how long till Chris Collinsworth accidentally calls Mike Tirico Al? Do you think that's going to happen at some
It
point?
won't happen. That won't
It
happen.
won't. He's too much of a professional.
I think he's been working at this transition for quite some time. So I'm gonna say no. He won't make that mistake.
What is going on in the first half of this game? I mean, Jimmy G's on the national stage. He's coming. Kittle is back, and Denver is going 3 and out like it's going out of style. They cannot convert anything. And
The
what do you think's
opportunities,
going on with this game, this team in
the
general?
opportunities, the opportunities were there all game, especially in the first half. We had good field position. Just the 49ers did not capitalize, and this is going to be the problem down the road with a Jimmy G led team. We have athletes on our roster as far as the specialty positions go, but he's missing very routine, very easy throws. I mean, sure, make the argument that maybe he needs time, to because he really didn't have an off season, but we saw this last couple of years. You know what I mean? So this isn't any real shock.
You're not surprised by
No.
his kind of failure to excel, to really move the team. I mean, it was 7-3 at halftime. It is so weird though, because wasn't it just a couple of years ago where like, oh, it's a scoring league. Look at the scores. There
Oh
was a
yeah.
lot of low scoring games
Oh,
today.
so let's shift. Then we go to at Tampa Bay this afternoon, game of the week, and that's a 14-12. Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady today they both look their age. And these team defenses, they're very fast. It's a very speed focused defensive schemes these days, and both quarterbacks just looked very, very old, very slow today. What did you think of that matchup?
That was one of the games I had on the side that I was just monitoring the score, and it just seemed like nothing was happening. So I didn't watch a lot of it. I wonder a couple things. I wonder if, number one, if defenses have caught up, and now it's not so easy to score, even though the rules are slanted to the offensive side. I wonder if defenses caught up, and I just wonder if it's just hard to be a good quarterback in the NFL.
It
Like how
really is.
many good quarterbacks do we have? 5? Do we have
I
5
think
good
we are.
quarterbacks?
There's some elite quarterbacks. I think top of our list. We're going to think Josh Allen. We're going to think Lamar Jackson. Patrick Mahomes obviously is going to be in that list. But after those three, I mean, Herbert's still young. I've always been a
Right.
big fan of Herbert. But who's really weren't we just talking about a couple years ago how great a quarterback Ryan Tannehill was, and and and,
Right.
and now it's like, does he even belong as a starting quarterback on that team? And,
Yeah.
and this is just months removed from him leading a team to the number one seed in last year's playoffs. It's such a this league is just not fun when it comes to timing.
It's unpredictable, and also I think quarterbacks can get hot in a system for one year. Sometimes we see it like for 3 weeks with like Minshew Mania a couple years ago, where like he's just clicking and we're like, oh, this guy's gonna be good, and then he's not good.
Or
So
the annual Kirk Cousins push for the Pro Bowl.
Kirk Cousins, I think I finally figured out Kirk Cousins. He's only good when he plays early games. That's the only
Oh,
time
good
Kirk
point.
Cousins is good.
I'm gonna start paying attention to that.
Monday night he was
Oh,
horrible.
he's terrible in prime time.
And now he's tricked us again because he won a game and he was the early game that none of us watched against Detroit. So it's got to be a game that nobody watches.
He's
All
the
right.
game. I like that. Like, by the way, I like that Vikings team. I think they can. I
Oh,
think they
you're
have a
back on
chance.
the Vikings
I, I,
now.
I kind of like them.
Let's go back to Sunday night. We knew the game had to be getting weird when we had a missed tripping penalty. I think I wanted Chris Collinsworth to go out on a rant on this one, but he didn't really take the bait. But it could have been like, Al, I know tripping when I see tripping. That was the most obvious attempt at a trip. And they picked up the flag on it. I couldn't believe that. And then Denver goes 3 and out, and then Collinsworth tries to cover for Denver, and he goes, "It's not their fault. There was that tripping penalty that is, they didn't really call." I was like, "Why are you trying to cover for Denver, Chris Collinsworth? I
Hold
can't
on.
figure out this
I
broadcast
have a
team."
I have a theory. I have a
Oh,
theory.
you do?
I have
All
a
right,
theory.
let's hear it.
Journal, anchors, sportscasters, they're supposed to remain neutral. They're reporting the news. That's why, in the beginning of the game, the people that are calling the game, they don't make a prediction in those pregame shows. I think that Collinsworth was slightly slanted towards Denver today. I
It
got
seemed
that
like it.
feeling.
It
And
really
and
did.
I'm gonna here's my theory why. I think Chris Collinsworth is always drawn to the old veteran. Remember how Madden did that? He was always drawn to the veteran on the field. He could find like an old offensive lineman that was like in his 17th year, and there'd be plenty of talk. I thought that Collinsworth was in a similar days with Russell Wilson today.
I I saw it. He's trying to cover for him. I can't figure out that broadcast team. I don't know really who's in charge in that booth
Right.
either. And then the crowd turns on Denver. Like, did you watch that part of the game where it's just
Yeah.
raining boos? And I'm thinking, I wrote in my notes, like, what's Russell Wilson's deal? Like, what do you think this is? Is it a new team? Is it a new coach? Is it the altitude? Does Russell Wilson not perform at altitude?
Yeah.
Is he could not convert third downs, and he's getting sacked and he's throwing bad balls. And then, like a gift from the football gods, Jimmy G pulls one of the greatest safeties I think we have seen. And in some way, I saw a tweet that was like, this is actually good because he was about to throw a pick six.
Yeah.
So
I know. That clumsy play saved him.
that Jimmy G safety, we should have had a red flag go up at that point. Like, oh, the tides are going to turn. There's going to be one extra play Russell Wilson makes and one play Jimmy G does not make. Again, not the fumble part wasn't his fault. But we should have known. I thought the Niners were winning this game the whole time. I'm texting people saying, well, at least everyone in the AFC also lost today. Everyone else in the AFC West also lost. That's good. But no, Denver comes out with the win. And then the crowd turned quick. They were cheering like crazy for
Yeah.
Denver by the end of this. Little Russell Wilson magic.
Let's move on. I don't want to talk about this game anymore.
Also, with this game was so boring. I thought I renamed this game. This is the prepare the kids school lunches game where you can just put it with the sound off. You can prepare lunches. You can clean the wife's car.
I was doing laundry.
No, I have that here. This is the fold the shirts game. You just dump out all your laundry and then you just do something else while the game is on. And I did like that at some point Chris Collinsworth says it's 7-5 and they both start laughing. They both started laughing their heads off, Tirico and Chris Collinsworth. It was so boring that I checked the other channels to see what else they were showing. Would you like to know what the other stations were showing?
Sure. FBI.
Okay.
I think there's a show FBI, isn't there?
Well, I turned it on, start of the fourth quarter. CBS had a investigative report going about Coral.
Oh, that's important.
ABC had a live Usher concert going.
Yeah.
And Fox was showing a rerun of Modern Family.
Okay.
So that's how much this game had me hitting the snooze button. And then of course I wrote, Russell Wilson had the scoring drive. Jimmy G can't convert. Somehow they stop Denver and then they almost lose it on the punt. And then the Jimmy G
right.
debacle. Just play hypothetical with me for 1 second. What if Jimmy G wins that game? What do you think it's like in San Francisco when he comes into the stadium next week?
I'm not with you on that. Jimmy G wins that game, but there's still going to be a lot of questions. So I think I don't know. I don't know, Pat. I think that this honeymoon is going to be very short.
This is, well, like we said, it's week 3 in the NFL. It's report
Hmm.
card time. It's like
Let me
midterms.
let me give you an analogy. Okay,
Okay.
it's that girlfriend that you had a long relationship with. You went on a break. Maybe you saw a few other people, but then you say, "Hey, let's just try to give it another shot." When you come with that mentality, it ain't gonna work. Sure, you're gonna move back in, but you're looking for the first excuse to get out again.
Ooh, I don't know. I don't know what it is about that analogy, but that's cutting kind of deep. That is a rough analogy that I think applies to a lot of this week in general. I should have played the graduation music while you gave that speech there. I have it queued up and ready, so next time you start on a rant there, I'm gonna hit it.
I like that.
We're week 3. This is like, we have an idea of how this is going to go. Some teams are going to turn this around, but we have an idea. This is midterms. Like, oh,
Okay.
you're failing this class. Oh, okay, you're going to pass. Or like, oh, you know what? This is going to be an incomplete year. You're just going to take the incomplete. We'll make this up later. Let me tell you how my Sunday went here on the West Coast. Okay, after last week, I vowed not to watch the Raider game. I was like, I'm not watching. I'm just going to keep the score in the corner, and I'll just monitor, but I'm not watching the game. I'm just going to watch whatever game is on the network TV, and I'll
Right.
watch that, and then I'll check it out later because I can't take this aggravation. And here on the West Coast, I don't know why there was no early game on on the antenna.
I'll tell you why.
Oh, go ahead, because I couldn't find out why. I have a theory,
Right.
but go ahead.
No, Fox had 2 games today.
Right, 2
So
afternoon
that
games.
means the CBS games were your games. Okay.
No, Chargers was late, and
Right. Chargers was late, so there was no morning because Fox had the 2 games. CBS only could get 1 game, so they played the Chargers game.
no, but we didn't have a late game on CBS. We had 2 Fox, or we had I only had 1 Fox game late.
Okay, yeah. There's only supposed to be one
Right,
late.
right, but we had no early games at all. So
Oh, both on both channels?
correct. That's what I'm saying. There was no early
Oh.
games. So now I'm like, oh great. Now I'm on to illegal internet streams.
Oh.
I'm watching the Raider game now. I told myself I wasn't going to do it. I'm watching the Raider game. I can't figure out why there is no early games on at all. On Fox, they were running infomercials. On CBS, I had to watch some of the Love Boat reality show, which and then I think I know why. Here's my theory why. We had they were showing on Fox early the LA Sheriff's debate. there's a LA Sheriff's election. So I watched the LA Sheriff's debate, which I can say was maybe just a little bit more boring than the Sunday night game. But I realized I hate debates. So that's what I'm doing. Now I'm watching illegal streams and end up watching the Raider game. And then I get upset again. So that's how my Sunday goes. I couldn't even avoid the Raider game. I had to watch the LA Sheriff's debate. So now I'm watching the Vegas game. And here's my question to you. I look up Tennessee's defense. They have a very poor run defense. So what do the Raiders do? They pass it almost every single play.
Right.
This is why I think there's low scoring now. I think we overthink offense or something.
That was a tough game to watch too, man.
That was bad too. That was all of a sudden Derrick Henry MVP again.
Well, did you feel that Carr missed some routine throws too?
Carr has been off all 3 games. Ironically, the one series that the Raiders commit to the run a bunch, they run right down the field and they get a field goal.
Yeah.
And then the next series they go back to throwing these bombs and these kind of hitch plays. And at one point the Raiders do this double pass. Carr passes it to a receiver behind the line of scrimmage. The receiver passes it to another receiver behind the line of scrimmage for a 3-yard run. That was our trick play. So,
What a weird game.
so I am now calling Josh McDaniels mini Mike McCarthy.
So talk to me about that. I read on the internet that McDaniels was brought into by Davis.
I
But
saw that somewhere too. He needs a talking to. He needs a
I mean,
stern.
but this early in the season, you're gonna get a talking to after 3 games. I mean,
Well, it's 3 games. It's midterms. It's time to.
okay.
You
So
want to save the semester or not?
do you think he's yeah? The progress report isn't very good right now.
Right, right. This
Um,
is just stern talking to time. But
but
these were 3 bad losses.
oh, yeah, so do you think that it's possible he could only be a 1 year wonder?
Those 3 games. Well, let's go through them. The Chargers was a winnable
Yeah,
game. Carr throws 2 bad passes. Arizona, monumental collapse. That's a big loss to him. And then today they were on the back foot the entire game. So they really have not shown up other than 1/2 against the Cardinals. They have been bad. They have been a D student. This is
yeah,
this is like you got their midterm back and it said D, but not only did it say D from the professor, it says at the bottom, see me. So now
yeah.
you have to go in and have a talk with the professor. So this is the second week in a row also with the Raiders. Like the defense cannot get off the field. It is 3rd down and 4 conversion, 3rd down and 9 conversion. And we got lucky. Tennessee
Yeah.
was trying to give this game away a couple of times.
For sure.
There was a play on 4th down. Tennessee goes for it, and Tannehill throws the ball a little bit behind the receiver, but he drops it, and we get the ball perfect. We get it on the conversion, and then Derek Carr throws. Well, before that, he throws a pass to Waller. Waller gets absolutely crushed,
Right.
hangs onto the ball. 2 plays later, he throws the ball to Waller. It's off his hands, intercepted, because Waller didn't want to get hit again. He didn't want to take that huge hit again. I don't blame him. And then it's intercepted. Again, final drive. Carr is just throwing jump balls up to Hollins, and Hollins is catching everything. So somehow we slide into this.
That was impressive.
He's sliding into all these catches. They get a touchdown, and then we don't get the 2-point conversion, so we can't tie it.
Killer.
And then that's the game. So I'm glad I didn't watch it. But CBS, get your shit together. You show games in the morning. I can't watch illegal streams.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I didn't see the morning games. I know you texted me, but I was at my son's baseball practice, so I wasn't even watching.
You made the right call.
I do appreciate the Sirius XM NFL channel during the morning games because I feel like it's very detailed to each one. So for 2 hours, I was just listening on the radio.
Do you listen to that like their little red zone one where they go to different games, or you're listening to a specific game?
No, different games.
Oh, the one where they jump around. Okay,
Yeah,
good.
jump around. They check in with each correspondent and whatnot.
Okay, good. Well, I have something to say about that later. Let's go to the game of the week. I think this is the game of the week. What do you think? Buffalo at Miami?
That was a great game. Wow. Hey, does Alabama, are they quarterback new now? I mean,
Hurts?
Tungo Viola, Hurts. I mean,
Tua?
those are the 2 surprises. I mean,
Joe Namath?
with that, remember with that girlfriend,
AJ McCarron.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't remember her. Yes, I don't know her name, but I've only looked her up on Instagram 18 times. That's true. That guy too. Well, that game was billed all week as like that's the game, and this game came through. That was the game. Do you think? I mean, it was 2 a week all last week.
Yeah.
So now I'm wondering, maybe this is my bias. Maybe it's the fact that they're both left-handed. Is Tua the new Tebow? Is he going to be our new polarizing guy?
I think he's going to be one of those polarizing quarterbacks that he's going to look like a genius type on good games, but you're gonna want to run him out of town on bad games, and
right.
I just think that's his disposition. I think that's a good prediction for him. But how did you feel about the hit he took? He was clearly not well.
That's one of the big stories of this game.
I think this is someone's gonna lose a job here. Could be a doctor, a trainer, something like that. But
yeah.
I mean, just from what we've seen in past games, when a guy looks like that, he's out of the game.
Usually so, you're right. That's why, I was surprised to see him back in because he gets hit. It's not a very big hit. He gets pushed and he, I guess, hits the back of his head, and then he's stumbling. He goes out of the game. He goes through the protocol, and then he comes back and he plays great. Not that that's an indicator that he's okay,
Right.
but he plays great. And then I'm thinking, because I heard the same stories you were talking about, the concussion protocol is administered by a non-team doctor. So it's a neutral doctor. So
Right.
if they do go after somebody, it's not affiliated with the Dolphins or anything.
Right. It's just,
It's
dude, why would you let him go out, you know?
right. What test did he pass? Were they administered correctly? Was it by the protocol? And if so, he goes back in and he's okay. Okay, great. But do we know that that was safe? We don't know
Right.
with these things. It's very new science when it comes to concussion protocol with NFL. It seems like everybody is evaluated so much more than they were 10 years ago. Like, that was a pretty innocuous push and fall that he had.
Right.
Don't you think?
Yep.
And then he's stumbling. He is visibly shaken. His
Right.
teammates are holding him up. And then somehow he comes back and throws. I mean, he plays a great game. And I even thought Miami's defense showed up big time today.
Big time.
4
Big
sacks.
Big time. And, you know,
Yeah.
it's not easy preparing for a Josh Allen, especially with all his weapons. So I got to give it to Miami. They called a great defensive scheme for the Bills game.
Do you feel that the Bills were on their A game for that game?
I think they were on their A game, and I think now they realize that next time they play Miami, it's not going to be a walkover like it's been in years past. But I think this is. Remember, we used to love this when we were growing up. Miami, Buffalo, Marino, Jim Kelly. That
Yeah.
was a great AFC East rivalry. I'd like to see that, get to where that was.
Yeah, that's true. A little comeback. I love when old rivals kind of reacquaint.
That'd be nice.
You had some Thurman Thomas. You had some Brian Cox. You had some Mark Duper.
Oh yeah, it was some good games.
You would just have Marino pissed off all the time. Every
Right.
incompletion, he was mad at the receiver. Josh Allen had that. The reason I agree with you that the Bills, I don't think, played their A game was Josh Allen does the weird fake spike at the end of the first half.
Mm-hmm.
That could have been a pick six. And that was strange. It didn't feel like he ever looked comfortable
Right.
in this game at all. And it comes down to that final or a couple possessions where Josh Allen throws that ball in the dirt
Right.
on 4th down. He knows it right away that it's a bad ball. It looks like he just misfire.
Right.
So un-Josh Allen-like. And then let me take you through that final Miami possession because they have it on the 1 yard line. And I'm trying to figure out if you would play this differently, and I don't know how. So they had the ball on the 1 yard line. 1st down, they run for no gain. Buffalo timeout.
Right.
2nd down, QB sneak, which, by the way, I'm not so crazy about my QB doing sneaks when he already took a hard hit to the head.
Yeah, who knows about that?
No gain, timeout. 3rd down, they run that weird play action to like Tua's non-throwing side, and luckily it's incomplete, so no time comes off the clock. And then we have the 4th down butt punt.
Oh God.
So that was the funniest, and I think we need more names for the butt punt. All I've heard is the butt punt, so we need some new names. I wrote a couple of them. I got the up, since it hit the up man. This one's called the up man up yours.
Okay.
Or how about the South Beach reach? How about taking one to the taint? How about a foot to the prostate?
Oh.
And then finally, the 4th and rectal.
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah.
Use
So,
that one.
okay, we'll go with that one. So a little bit of writing skills there. Would you have done that final series differently?
No, it's so hard. I mean, you trust Josh Allen, but again, like you said, he wasn't in the best just rhythm all
But just the
game.
Miami offense one. Do you think they?
Oh. No.
What else could they? I don't know what else they could have done other than not
I would have
punt it
run
like
it.
that.
I would have run it more just to
Yeah.
get it out of that side.
Yeah, if they had lost that game, that would have been dissected. I don't know what else you can do from the one like
Right.
that other than just like fuck it, we got to try and convert, and if no time comes off the clock, fine. And
Right.
then finally the Bills almost get a field goal attempt.
Right.
So that was tricky. And you can tell now the Bills know that the ball has to go back to the referee after the play's over, via the Dak mess
Yeah.
up from years
Yeah.
ago.
I was thinking that exact same play when that sequence was going on.
Yeah, they played it right. Just that one play, the guy couldn't get out of bounds. They had no timeouts, and they couldn't even get a field goal attempt on. And then that leads us to the epic Bills offensive coordinator goes nuts in the booth.
Ken Dorsey.
That
Wow.
was. Have you ever reacted like that, Omar?
I'm a hitter on the desk. I'll slam my
Oh, do you?
hands. Yeah, and that's a bad habit. I've already broken one glass on a conference room table.
Football related or something else related?
Work related. It wasn't my
Ooh,
proudest moment, but
ooh,
yeah, he
Cremona
was
Law.
that. Ken Dorsey was, of course, the national champion quarterback
I was
at
wondering about
Miami.
that. That's the same Ken Dorsey.
Same Ken Dorsey. Yeah.
That was epic. And I don't know if somebody did this or not, but he slams the iPad, he's going nuts, and it seems like after a second someone blocked the camera or moved it, or maybe he hit it, but he was not done. He wasn't done freaking out. He was
Right.
still going to throw things. I could
That's
I could use
crazy.
more of that. It made me feel better in a way cuz that's how I was last week during the Arizona collapse. But this looks good. Miami,
Hey,
Buffalo,
let,
so
let,
good.
and let's move on. What
Let's go
happened
to the other games.
now? Philadelphia. I mean, now they're 3-0. This is crazy.
Let's
Philadelphia and Miami. But now we're not a whole lot to talk about that game. But because Washington just did not show up. Um, I do not like Carson Wentz. I don't see what Redskins thought they were getting. But I was never a Carson Wentz guy.
here's who's 3-0. Philly is 3-0. There's one more 3-0. Miami is 3-0.
Miami, and then maybe the Giants tomorrow.
Maybe the Giants tomorrow. So we got Philly 3-0, Miami 3-0. Winless teams, we have Vegas and we have Houston, who's 1-2-1.
Right.
So let's go 3-0s first. Let's assume the Giants win tomorrow.
Okay.
Philly, Giants, Miami. Are these division winners? I mean, Philly and Giants have to battle it out.
Potentially, and like you just said, there's going to be that, and then of course you can't discount Dallas. They're lurking. Although I think these teams really need to get these wins because you don't want Dak to come back, and have the Cowboys in striking distance. I think you want to create that gap in the standings. But I can see Miami winning their division.
Okay. And then 0-3s, Vegas, and let's just say Houston.
Yeah, are you? Oh, so let me ask you this:
We're the
At
worst team
this
in the
time-
league.
at
We're
this
the worst
time-
team,
At this time last year, you were 3-0.
right? What's on in your background? You have some easy listening going on in your background.
Okay. What the hell?
I don't know if you put that on like mid fourth quarter of the game to
Just to
to
kind of
ease the
relax.
tension, but if you do, I might be using that.
So the like I was saying, Miami could possibly win the division. They've had big games against Buffalo. They beat New England, so they're doing very well. Now, when we talk about the Raiders, though, again, a team that 3-0 last year, they made the playoffs, and you're thinking, wow, they get Devontae Adams. They come out of the gates 0-3.
Yeah.
What are you thinking now? Are you ready to write them off for the season?
Well, okay, let me go glass half full start. To start, glass half full. We started 3-0 last year, hit the huge crater in the middle of the season last year.
Right.
Lost the coach. Waller gets injured. Everything bad happened, and we rallied to get into the playoffs, the last sneaky spot in the playoffs. So let's flip it to this year. Okay, maybe we start slow, work it out, figure it all out, because they have a lot of tools, they have a lot of talent. I don't feel like they're managed correctly, and maybe they can still figure that out. I was hoping with the Denver loss that they can stay competitive in the league to Thanksgiving. So you cannot write the season off at week 3 anymore. It's
Okay,
almost
well, let me ask you this:
preseason.
Are you willing to go on record and say that maybe you're hoping for the first Raiders arrest of the season to maybe? I mean, they made the playoffs with all those problems.
Right.
You think
We need an arrest.
maybe you need an arrest?
Yes. Yes. Maybe we need a scandal, a controversy.
Something.
Yeah. We
You
are
guys,
the Raiders.
you guys seem to do so well responding to all the controversies last year. I would just figure that maybe.
Right. What could we have? Like what could be a good controversy?
Or you think maybe like, oh, like arrests have been done. That's last year's thing.
No, I'm with you. I think someone needs to get arrested. I
Okay.
think I think someone needs to get busted for maybe some drug trafficking. Or remember last year we had the guy with guns? He had guns or
Yeah,
something.
guy had guns.
That was good. Maybe we need something. Maybe like, oh, you know, what'd be good, like a good white collar crime, or maybe like a ball boy is gambling on the team and he's using insider knowledge for
Yeah.
gambling bets. That would be good. Man, we need
Okay.
a scandal.
Let's hope for a scandal.
Okay, I'm gonna go scandal. You know the other thing with the Philly Washington game, I love how a return game. Wentz returns to Philly, and what does he do? He fumbles and gets sacked 9 times.
Jeez. He had he
Wentz
had
is
he
bad.
had 5 sacks, and it was barely like 11 minutes left in the second quarter, and he'd already been sacked 5 times.
I saw that stat. I was like, yeah, I am gonna watch the LA Sheriff's debate.
Yeah, it was just that was an ugly game. Other games though, I mean, wow. You just when we're ready to write off Indianapolis for the year, then they beat Kansas City and give them their first loss of the year.
Is this a throwaway game? Are we gonna look at this game in 6 weeks and say like they lost to Indianapolis? Ah, yeah, no one showed up for that game on
No,
the road.
I think that this year Kansas City's not the same Kansas City. I think they'll be in the playoffs. I'm not saying they're gonna have such a large fall from grace, but I don't think they're the same Kansas City Chiefs. And then we'll see what I think we're gonna have one of those weird seasons in Indianapolis where they're gonna just like hover around 9-8, a 9-8 record.
Yeah, they
Uh,
did last year, right?
yeah, 10-7, something like that. Squeak into the playoffs and like make a run to the AFC Championship game.
Wow. Wow. I don't know if I want that to happen. I don't know
Right.
if that's good for football. Cincinnati gets their first win of the
Yeah, well,
season.
against the Jets.
Burrow,
Yeah,
the Jets come back down to earth. Flacco becomes Flacco. Burrow had 275, 3 TDs. I didn't watch that game because it wasn't shown.
right.
Okay, did you watch Houston Chicago? Because I had no interest in this game.
I
These
didn't have much interest in it. Um, but yeah, an ugly game, but it turned out to be a close game.
Yeah, Chicago wins
Chicago
on a
wins last
field
second field
goal.
goal. Yeah.
Yeah, here's Justin Fields' stat line: 8 for 17, 106 yards, 2 picks. That should tell you what this game was.
Yeah, exactly.
And also, Lovey Smith has the whitest beard I think anybody could possibly have. It is pure white. It's eggshell white.
It is. It is.
And he's growing it like it's getting long. It's short on the sides and long in the front. It's very menacing, that beard. I don't know what he's going for.
So, but again, not a very pretty game to watch. But I
But the
do.
Bears are 2-1.
But they're 2-1 too.
2-1.
Kansas City 2-1. I mean, it's going to shape up to be a strange, strange year.
Detroit, Minnesota. We talked about how Cousins is only good in early games that nobody watches. They won. So now we got to talk about Kirk Cousins and be disappointed for probably another 2 to 3 weeks.
Right. Hey, the Browns won. They beat the
Browns won Thursday night, right?
And now we're ready. And Steelers fans want Trubisky out, from my understanding.
Did I give you my Trubisky theory?
The goodness having to do with his looks.
This maybe I didn't. I might have texted you this. I don't know if you responded to it. Let's go back a ways. Remember when Jay Cutler was the Bears quarterback? Mitch Trubisky essentially replaced him.
Right.
Jay Cutler was our Donald Trump. Mitch Trubisky is now our Joe Biden. They're both equally odd and strange.
Right.
And they're just opposite ends of the spectrum.
Like
And
you don't know which one you
result.
had more. You don't know which one you had more faith in.
Right. I don't know which one. You can either dislike one a whole lot, or some people like the. And at the end of the day, you're like, well, we have the same result. We're going to go 8-9.
Yeah.
No matter what. So
we'll
we got
see where that goes.
Jay Cutler, Donald Trump, Mitch Trubisky, Uncle Joe Biden.
We talked Jaguars. Wow, now they're looking great.
Yeah, let's go Jaguars. That was a real impressive beatdown. First of all, they're coming across the country.
Right.
That's kind of always talked about as being difficult. They go up 13-0 in no time. Trevor Lawrence is looking good. And then at some point, the announcers start talking about they should take Herbert out. It's getting a little out of hand. They want to get Herbert out of the game. What do we not know about the Jaguars that we should?
Maybe we're seeing these two young kids, Trevor Lawrence and Etienne. I mean, they seem to have like a good quarterback running back thing going. Defense was very impressive. That rookie, their number one pick, very impressive player. So I think look out for the Jaguars. I don't think you can. I don't think you can say that in that division there's any like clear-cut favorite. With Titans, Texans, Colts, and Jaguars, who knows who's going to win that division? That one's up for grabs.
We might be looking at a Jaguars run this year.
Could be.
There might be some Jaguars heat, right?
I'm not going to say no.
Somebody look up the odds on Jaguars in the Super Bowl right now.
Wow.
Like, this would be the time to be like, whoa, what are the odds?
Now,
50 to 1? Let's bet it now.
Bet it now.
We might have some Jaguars heat.
Yeah.
Say they string
Jaguars
together another 2 or 3 wins in a row. Then we're going to have the talk like, oh, we just had to get Urban Meyer out of here.
Right.
We just needed to change the Urban Meyer was a cancer. We have what we need. Oh, it's going to be great. This could be our NFL story of the year.
Yeah, it could be.
If the Jaguars get hot.
Did you at all see the Panthers Saints? Because that one was a bad one too.
That was the other one I missed. Panthers Saints.
They dominated. Panthers dominated. Baker played okay. But Saints just did not look good even with Jameis in the lineup.
Yeah, well, I don't know why I don't have that in my notes here somewhere. But yeah, I had the stats, and Jameis had like 3 picks. It seemed like it was one of those games where they couldn't punch it in. They'd start, and then they'd stop. Start, and they stop.
And then another game, which is in previous years' playoff implications, Ravens-Patriots.
Yeah, I have that one next.
That was a good game. And Patriots definitely had a chance to win. Now the big concern looks like there's a high ankle sprain for Mac Jones, and so we'll see, how he, battles through that. But Baltimore, they maybe they can overtake Cincinnati in that division because I'm not sold on Cincinnati yet.
188 yards rushing Baltimore had. Like, I'm looking at all the box scores, to see if anything jumps out at me. Very few teams rush over 100 yards anymore.
Right.
And Baltimore's got 188 yards total rushing. Mac Jones has 3 picks.
For 107.
It just goes to show that you still need to run in the league. Josh McDaniels, how about hand the ball off? We don't need to do double passes. Mac Jones has 3 picks. He gets injured. It looks like a bad injury too. They're carrying him off. It says nothing's, just from what I read recording this, it says nothing is broken, but he looked like he was in pain. Tua is a question mark as well. Someone else got hurt as well that I can't remember. But it seems like a few QBs took hard hits today.
Yeah, for sure.
And Baltimore gets that win. Then you have, what did we leave at? Did we talk Tampa Bay, Green Bay already? With the not a lot of scoring, not a lot of anything.
Those guys look, but
you thought they looked old, huh?
As says the old guy with the gray hair coming. But no,
old man Carmona.
Yeah, we're getting there. But the offenses did not look good. Both defenses looked stout. So they're going to be these teams, Green Bay and Tampa Bay, that if they get any wins in January, it's going to be because of defense.
Are you with me and you're still befuddled when you have an important play like this 2-point conversion, a 4th down, whatever, and the offense can't get the play off in time? Even Tom Brady, Tom Brady couldn't get this playoff in time. Gets the
Terrible.
5-yard penalty, so they're backed up 5. They can't convert. I can't believe teams still do this where they have to rush to get a playoff because of the play clock, and a 2-point conversion, comes out of a stoppage anyway.
Right.
That was odd. That was very un-Brady like. I still don't even know the name of the coach who coaches Tampa Bay either. I have no idea. But I learned that Bruce Arians, the former coach, is still on the sideline doing something because he got fined last week for almost getting in a fight.
Yeah. Who knows?
What job do you have where you get demoted from head to assistant and then you're still with the company?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be embarrassing if you're Bruce Arians? Be like, oh, I'm the director of player operations now. Like, well, what is that? That's a made up title.
I have no clue what that's all about.
What do you think's going on there? Would you want that job? Would you want to still be on the sideline in a lessened role? I have no idea.
Yeah, who knows? That's
Maybe just wants to
strange-
work.
Maybe.
Maybe. And then last game, I think this is the last game. LA Rams at Arizona. Arizona almost pulls off the exact same comeback as they did last week.
Yeah.
And they almost pull. Look, the Rams are the better team, so they stop it. But when it comes to Kyler Murray, have you ever seen anybody more disinterested on the sideline?
Yeah, he really does. Like,
He really doesn't look into the game at all, does he?
Anything. Apparently he's a gamer. Maybe he's too tired at night.
Maybe. And at some point, the head coach goes over to him and gives him like the little like pat on the butt, like good job. Kyler Murray looks older than his own head coach.
Yeah, angrier too.
He looks angry. He's got that Marino anger. And in this, I liked a whole bunch. Mark Sanchez was calling the game in that game, which was, I never know if announcers are good or bad. When people are like, "Oh, Jason Witten was terrible," I was like, I didn't notice anything with Jason.
I didn't notice. Yeah, he wasn't.
I didn't notice. I've heard Kirk Herbstreit on Thursday night is bad. It sounds fine to me. Mark Sanchez is really obvious because he keeps interrupting the other guy.
Yeah,
he keeps jumping in, and I love it. And at some point, Mark Sanchez makes a Top Gun reference. I don't know if you heard this. He's like, "It's kind of this game's kind of like Top Gun. You just go for a ride." I was like, "All right, yeah,
I like it.
I like this." And then this happened in the Rams game. Cam Akers scores a touchdown. And I go, oh, I forgot Cam Akers is on this Rams game. Where's he been all year?
Yeah.
Very next series, he fumbles the ball.
Like, oh, that's right. His ass is going back to the bench.
Right. I'm like, oh, yeah, Cam Akers. Why haven't I seen him? Oh, that's why. So that was the other games in the league. Like I said, not a great week for both our teams. We both took pretty big body blows. Do you think your team is salvageable? Do you think we have a possible division run? I mean, tell me your raw thoughts right now on your team.
We're not going to make the playoffs with Jimmy G.
So you're saying they should change him, or you're just saying this season's over? Should they tank?
We don't have options. Yeah, we're going to tank it now. I say tank it.
So you're going to say tank it. Wow, week 3. I'm going to put that on your screen. Omar Carmona says tank. Parentheses, week 3.
Yeah. Let's
go. Well, those were the games around the league. Before we get to the categories, the awards, we brought up last week I guess you would say my annoyance with radio DJ host Bill Lakis. Drives me crazy, this guy. I don't know if my anger is warranted or not, but I pulled a clip for you. I want you to listen to.
Okay.
An interview with Bill Lakis, and call your out whenever you want. All right, I'm going to play it. This is nationally syndicated radio host Bill Lakis. Okay, I'm going to play it.
This is something I can use for the next job because I'm not going to be doing high school football and basketball play-by-play for the rest of my life. It's not what I want to do. I got very lucky with my next opportunity. I went from Great Barrington and real small, get your foot in the door kind of thing, to a national job. I got a job in Las Vegas.
Okay, stop right there. I'm already annoyed by the speech impediment. Does that jump out to you too, or is this me?
No, that jumps out. That was kind of hard to listen to.
Okay, so you're with me there. He's describing how we came to be on national radio. All right, let's continue.
At the time, there was a national radio network out there called Sports Fan Radio Network, and they were looking for an anchor. And I sent them my material. This is when we're still sending cassette tapes. So there was no, MP3 or even CD. This was send us your tape.
Right, riveting stuff, right? This is your life story. And we are talking about cassettes. And, back in the day, I just don't understand how this is compelling radio. How this, like, if I were to lob you one, Carmona, I said, hey, Carmona, how did you come to be a lawyer? How did you come to decide to take this path? How did you come to pass the bar and start your own firm? Don't you think you would be a little more excited to tell your life story?
I think so. I really think so. But this was not good.
Right. Well, I mean, don't worry. There's more. Here we go.
I sent them my tape, and they liked it. And I ended up taking an anchor job there, which turned into an anchor/host job there, which turned into kind of just a host job there. I was there for about 3 years, and they ended up going out of business.
So, okay, there's my favorite part.
Yeah.
This is what I did, and that station that hired me went out of business. So I just am befuddled that this guy is on national radio. I know radio is harder than it seems, but where is the compelling radio? What is this? Like, why do we listen to this? And again, I think if you were to shove you and me in anything, I think it would be funny. And then I come to the point where, like, okay, is everybody dumb or am I dumb?
Right.
I'm like, okay, maybe I'm the dumb one, because maybe radio is the ability to say something without saying anything at all. Just filling dead air. Like, let's go to Philadelphia. Oh, the Giants are coming back. Well, it's like I always say, you got to be able to finish the game. Oh, you know what? You control the ball at time of possession. You got a good chance of winning. It's just nothing. It's verbal nothingness. And it drives me bonkers, but I had to pull that clip to share with you.
Good clip.
But more so drive myself nuts. Okay, let's, before I get angry more with poor Bill Lakis, I have a game for you. Last week, or this year, we're doing a new game every week. Last week, we did Sunday Best, where we guessed the player's religious Instagram account. This week, similar game, more on the side of guess the stat. Many NFL coaches, as you may or may not know, have written books, Omar Carmona.
Okay.
So I am going to give you the titles of books written, and you're going to try and guess which one of these NFL coaches is the author of it. So we got books, novels, autobiographies. Let's see if you can guess the coach based off of this title. So this is called Guess the Author. Book number 1. The title is The Score Takes Care of Itself. Was this book written by Sam Weish, Marty Schottenheimer, or Bill Walsh?
I want to go with Bill Walsh.
Going Bill Walsh, huh? How come?
I don't know. That seems. I just went with the older coach on that one.
Oh, okay. The book belongs to Bill Walsh. Correct.
This is like an older coach would say.
Yeah, that is sort of an older, kind of refined, old school sort of title. The Score Takes Care of Itself. That is written by Bill Walsh. Okay, here we go. Next title. Above the Line. Is this book written by Urban Meyer, Jim Harbaugh, or Chip Kelly?
I'm going to go Urban Meyer.
First of all, are you surprised that all three of these coaches might have a book?
Right. Yeah. That's
Well,
the
one of
most
them
fascinating. Yeah, that's the most fascinating list as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. Who's your pick?
Urban Meyer.
Above the Line belongs to Urban Meyer. Correct. 2 for 2. You're locked in. Next title. Wins, Losses, and Lessons. Is this
Interesting.
a book by Bobby Bowden, Lou Holtz, or Joe Paterno?
Repeat the title again.
The title is Wins, Losses, and Lessons. Bobby Bowden,
I want to go with Lou Holtz.
Wins, Losses, and Lessons is written by Lou Holtz. 3 for 3 here. Wouldn't you love to read a book entitled Wins, Losses, and Lessons by Joe Paterno, though?
And it seems so wholesome. It seems so wholesome. I had to go with Lou Holtz on that one.
Wow. Okay. All right. For a perfect score. You've never had a perfect score in these games before. Here we go. The title is Quiet Strength. Authors are Tony Dungy, Jeff Fisher, Bill Parcells.
Tony Dungy. Final answer.
For the perfect score, the author is Tony Dungy. You got it. Perfect.
And that one I knew.
Oh, you knew that one.
I knew that one.
Oh, very good. 4 for 4 on books written by NFL coaches. Excellent work. That brings us to every week we give out the awards for the week. This week had my most awards that I'd given out yet. So Let's start with the first one. Our first award of the week is the Overbearing Parent Award.
Ooh. Okay.
So this week, I think I have 4. I have 4 nominees for this. So, Overbearing Parent Award, number 1 goes to Tua. If I'm the parent of Tua after this game, I'm like, hey, you're not going to school on Monday. We're getting our own doctor to check you out. You are not practicing until we get my own doctor in there. If I'm the overbearing parent of Tua this week, I have concerns. Next nominee is offensive coordinator Ken Dorsey's parents.
Yeah.
You had that one?
Yeah. That's definitely it. What the hell was that? That was a temper tantrum if I've ever seen one.
Right. That was the one where your kid is throwing a fit at the birthday party or something, and you're like, and your wife tugs you at something, hey, go pull him out. Go pull him out. You need to have a talk with him.
Right.
So I think that's Overbearing Parent Award is a must. And then finally, Overbearing Parent Award, Russell Wilson and Coach Nathaniel Hackett. I think they both need a talking to. Like when two siblings are fighting, be like, hey guys, let's have a talk. Let's go for a drive. I have them as well. Do you have a pick, or do you have a write-in of your own?
No, I'll agree with those.
You'll agree with all of them. What's your pick? Because I'm gonna go the OC Ken Dorsey for the.
Yeah, it's got to be that one. I mean, that was just. I mean, that was just such a. You know, and throwing the thing around, you know, the tablet, that was
right. When the kid starts throwing their own toys around, it's time for a timeout, a talking to, remove them from the group. All right, next award. This is the Hot Take Award. I have 2 nominees. Hot Take Award. Jalen Hurts MVP? ? And nominee number 2. Next week, the game of the week is Jacksonville at Philadelphia.
Ooh,
hot take award.
Take.
That's the best game of the week next week.
Hot take. Let's put that one number 1. That's a hot take. Doug Peterson, of course, going, you know, Philadelphia, those connections there. Of course, Peterson won a Super Bowl in Philadelphia. So that's the hot take right there.
Hot take, best game of the week next week. I mean, let's go even hotter. Best game of the year, Jacksonville at Philly next week.
Oh, let's not go best of the year.
Hey, it's a hot take, Carmona. It's my hot take.
Okay.
I'm hot. All right, what's your hot take, or do you like one of those picks?
Ooh, that one, the Jacksonville game. That's gonna be good.
You like that one?
I like that one.
Next award, the Cringeworthy Award for the week. I have 3 cringeworthies. Number 1 cringeworthy award, Josh Allen's pass into the dirt on 4th down.
Okay.
Jimmy G's safety.
Ugh.
Or that whole Sunday night game.
The safety, because it was a safety that was actually a good thing, because it should have been a pick 6.
Oh, okay. But then it's not cringeworthy. Then it's actually good.
Like, not only did you screw up, but like you would have also screwed up had you not screwed up.
I think
bad. That's cringeworthy. You screwed up by missing a screw up. So
interesting. That's kind of like getting busted for expired tags, but the cop only ran a stop sign.
You failed at being a loser.
What is the saying I'm looking for? We had a coach. Remember Coach T?
Yeah.
We had a coach. He was a black dude, and he was exceptionally gifted at cursing at children.
Oh yeah.
and
He
and
had
when
no problem commenting on a kid's weight problem. I mean, he was just,
if you were overweight, he would let you know. But
if you were overweight, we were not the team to be on.
yes, but my favorite Coach T burn is when you would screw up, and then he would stare at you, and he would just go, "You don't want to play no damn ball." you would be like, "God damn, there's nothing to come back to with that one." He's like, "You don't want to play no damn ball." I'm like, damn it, Coach T. Where is Coach T? I wonder. Next award, the Would You Rather Award. I have 3 for you this week. Okay, would you rather? You have to pick one right now. Would you rather Tua or Herbert? Who's your QB?
Right now, it's going to be Herbert.
Really? Still Herbert over Tua?
Still Herbert. Still Herbert.
Okay. I think I agree with you.
Yeah, I'm just real. I've been for the last 3 years. I've been very high on Herbert.
Tua's had a great 2 weeks, but you're right. I'm conflicted. I'm going to go Herbert. I'm going to go Herbert as well. All right. Would you rather Josh McDaniels
Ooh,
or Lovie Smith? Who do you want coaching your team right now?
Lovey Smith, because now it just
Really?
seems like everything McDaniels is in is just going to be a failure. Sorry.
Was it the beard? Was it the Lovie Smith beard that swayed you?
No, I'm just not down. I'm just
Maybe
yeah.
Lo-
I like the beard. I like the beard. It's
Maybe
classic.
Josh McDaniels needs a beard.
It's distinguished.
Oh, okay. He has like he has like an old school Morgan Freeman beard from Glory.
For sure.
Okay, one more rather. This is a Monday night special. We have Cowboys at New York Giants tomorrow. So, would you rather Texas style barbecue or New York cheesecake?
Texas style barbecue any day. The only thing from New York a good slice of cheese pizza,
Oh,
maybe, but also maybe like a deli, like a New York deli. With just
don't
like
you
this
don't you have
delicious-
some New York affiliation? Why am I remembering you being somewhat
Yeah,
New York
I would
affiliated?
spend some time in New York. My grandparents lived there so I remember
That's
the food.
right. Yeah.
The food was just so fantastic. I even remember it, so long ago. But I definitely would go with the Texas barbecue.
Oh, okay. I remember you were one of the first people to tell me, guys, there's a thing called 42nd Street, and it's full of porno theaters. And you're like, is that real? And you're like, I seen it. It's real. It's like, what do you mean? Yeah, I think that it might have been you who enlightened me into what exactly 42nd Street is. Next award, the Ethan Hunt, You Have Never Seen Me Upset, goes to the Tom Cruise movie that most resembles this week in the NFL. I have for this week, Tom Cruise movie, The Outsiders, because we had some new faces come into light this week. We don't know where they're going. We don't know if Patrick Swayze is going to become a thing. We don't know if Rob Lowe's a thing yet, like in The Outsiders.
Right.
So this was all fun. This was all candy this week. They came together. They were in a great movie. They came together. We had a great showing from Trevor Lawrence, from Tua, from Lamar. Now we kind of think, where are these guys going? Could these guys be taking the reins? And who is going to be our big name? Who's going to be our superstar? So I give it to the movie The Outsiders.
Okay. I
this
like that.
week. What's your movie?
The Tom Cruise movie that I can think of is Eyes Wide Shut. And I say that because to me that summarizes McDaniels' time there in Las Vegas right now. I think we're almost ready to say it's time to move on.
Oh, what? After 3 games?
I'm just saying. I mean, if you're already getting called into the owner's office, it's because there's something a lot bigger than the wins and losses column. I mean, it could be like a whole cultural thing. I just was taken aback by so early in the year to get an in-office meeting already.
Yeah, not a good sign.
Not a good look.
All right, well, let's go one at a time. Okay, he didn't get. We're 0-3. He got a talking to. Okay, next week 0-4. Fired or not fired?
0-5 fired.
0-5 fired? Mm-hmm. He's getting fired, and we're not even out of October. Jesus, that's bad. What's the earliest a coach has ever been fired?
Maybe last year with Urban Meyer.
Oh, that was pretty quick. That's true.
Real quick. That was October, I think.
That was pretty quick. Yeah, that's right. That's right. He went to Hooters and never came back. Final award. Who won the week? I have 5 nominees. I have 3-0 teams. I have the LA Sheriffs debate for stealing the early game time slot. Anyone who plays Washington? Al Michaels, did he win the week by not having to do this game? And lastly, did Dan Orlovsky, who was previously known as the worst,
that's a great one. Dan Orlovsky.
Did Dan Orlovsky win the week?
I still don't think so, because Orlovsky's was, I think, worse still, because Orlovsky took like a lot. Orlovsky took like a lot of steps out of that.
That's true.
And, like, he was still at full sprint, and Jared Allen was already like pointing and laughing at him. So like that was like, he still looked like a jackass. I'm gonna say the winner of the week was in Los Angeles. The infomercials, commercial.
Oh, that I watched instead of the early games.
You know, with no football on, they probably got some more traffic.
Yeah, I mean, I told you I watched the Love Boat reality show. It wasn't even the reality show, an episode of it. It was just Jerry O'Connell and whoever talking about the show, like what was going to happen on the show.
Cool.
And I watched an infomercial, then I watched the LA Sheriffs debate. So easy pick is 3-0 teams won the week. But I think Al Michaels might have won this week. He didn't have to do this terrible game. Yeah. So all worthy candidates. All right, that brings us to Omar Carmona, Monday night, Dallas at New York Giants. The 1-1 Dallas Cowboys go into New York to play the 2-0 New York Giants. Your thoughts? Who is going to win this game? What are we going to see?
Cooper Rush is going to struggle against the New York Giants defense. I like a comfortable win by the New York Giants.
Will we see a Cooper Rush touchdown pass?
Yes, 1.
Wow, 1 pass. Will we see a Daniel Jones rushing touchdown?
Ooh. No.
Oh. Over under on this game. Will this game go over 50 combined points?
I am going to take the under.
Oh, low scoring game?
Low scoring game.
Wow. And lastly, will we have 1, 2, or 18 fans kicked out of the New York Stadium?
Well, I always take the over.
All right, you heard it here. Omar says always take the over. Well, Omar, that was the Sunday Night Talk for Week 3 in the NFL. I mean, I feel better already about this week, even though we both took a loss. All right.
It is what it is.
On to next week, right?
On next week. Great to be on this week.
For Omar Carmona, for me, Patrick Ramirez, this has been the Sunday Night Talk. Omar, see you next week. Better luck for us next week, right? It's got to happen.
Yeah, better luck.
Good night, everybody. Thanks, Omar.
Good night, everybody.
That is it. That is the episode. That is Sunday night. That is the Sunday Night Talk with me and Omar Carmona. We wrapped it all up. Boy, did we pack a lot into that show. Talking our disappointing losses. Can my team turn it around? Can they honestly turn it around? We're 0-3. It's a long season. There's reasons to think positive. Unfortunately, there's a lot of reasons to think negatively, too. Let's go week by week. Luckily, we have the Sunday Night Talk. How about Carmona nailing the NFL Authors Game, talking awards, and then lastly, predicting some Monday night. Let's see, he went 4-for-4 in the Authors, so can he go 4-for-4 on the Monday night predictions? Where do you stand on my Tom Cruise movie association? Because I think Outsiders is pretty damn good. If you have your own thoughts, put Put it in the comments. I want to see what you're thinking. And if you're new to the channel, give it a subscribe. Give it a like. I appreciate it. As always, new stuff coming up. Like I said, there is a new interview on my Running It Back series with Eric Esteban. Go check it out, and there's more coming as well. That was week 3 in the NFL on the Sunday Night Talk. For me, Patrick Mears, and Omar Carmona, I will see you next week.